What's up? Thanks for checking out my video. One day my son came up to me and said, "Hey Dad, my headlight's out. Can we check it out and see if it needs a bulb replaced or whatever?" So I said, "Sure. Let's go take a look at it and see what's going on." So this is his 2012 Silverado, and the bulb is out up here. It was the dim. It was the dim bulb, or the low, not the bright. And so we checked it out, and we took the bulb out, see if the bulb was okay. The bulb's fine, but the prongs on the bulb are bad. So, and I'll show you that later. And so I bought these I bought these wires, or this pigtail connector to replace the stock connector that was on there, and you can see that the one side is bad. It's like getting it was all corroded and burning up or something. Something was going on there. So I replaced it with this this new pigtail. And here's, I don't know if you can see in there. That's the bulb, the top bulb there that I replaced the pigtail, but the prongs on the bulb are bad. So I'm gonna take it out of there, and I'll show you that here in a second. All right, so here's the halogen bulb, and you can kind of see inside there the prong. When it shorted out, it kind of screwed things up inside there. And you can also see when I replaced the pigtail, and I tried to put it back on there, it messed up that ceramic. I don't know if you can see it there. My new plug. So I'm gonna replace this pigtail again. And these are halogen bulbs. This is a stock halogen bulb, and I was looking around for some nicer, like the Sylvania ZXEs to replace the bulbs with. And they get kind of pricey, and I thought, I started checking out these LEDs, and for a set of these, the lows and highs, they're like $40. So I thought, let's try these out. And I bought a set, and we're gonna install these, see how they work. I'm gonna put the new pigtail on, and then put the LED bulbs in, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so I've got my new pigtail on, my new connector, and what I did is I just twisted the wires together and then soldered them together. And then I've got some heat shrink, the wire covering. I got some heat shrink wire covering. I'm going to slide over these. And then I've got my heat gun there. And it'll shrink that heat shrink stuff. See, here it is there. And that'll seal the wires up. And you can see the other bulb there, that's the bright bulb. And so I got the one LED bulbs here. These are the low beams, and they are a 9. Oh, those are the highs. Dang it. So yeah, those are the high beams. The low beam, there's a low beam. That is an H11. So on this style of Silverado 07 and up, the low beams are H11s and the high beams are 9005s. So there you go. And so there's my old bulbs and stuff. Now I'm just going to heat shrink the wire covering there, and hook the bulb up and plug it in. Alright, so I got my wires heat shrink there, and they're all sealed up. So my new plug's all installed. Now you see, there's a certain way that this should plug in, right? You see the little slot there on the plug. Now, when I got these LED lights or bulbs, it didn't have that slot. So, you know, you could plug it in backwards and not know it. But on the plug, there is a positive and negative. I don't know if you can see that on there or not. So that tells you that when you plug it in, this wire, you know, these wires, there's a black and there's a colored wire. And the pigtail I got has a blue, but the wire here is, you know, it's yellow and black. So the yellow is usually always a positive, and the black is always the negative, or the ground, I guess you would call it. So that way I know which way to plug this plug into there. So I'm gonna do that now. All right, so I got it plugged in there. You can see that. And then I went to I don't know if you can see down there or not. I went to put it in the hole to, you know, to slide it in and spin it. So I put it in there. But the back of that LED housing is hitting the, you know, the frame bracket there in the back. So I've got to take these housings out, and these new Silverados 07 and up, it's a pain in the ass to get just these light housings out. It used to be, you know, on the old style, you had a little pin here, you pull the pin out, and it just kind of pops out. But these, you know, there's some bolts here. There's a bolt under the wheel well here we got to get to. And then we've got to take this top panel off with these little, you know, plastic rivets here. We got to take all those off. Take the grill out. Pull that out. That just pops out. I think there might be maybe a bolt or two we need to take out. And then the grill pops out, and then you can finagle these housings out. So lucky me, that is what I'm going to do now. Alright, so I got this top panel off here. Just takes, you know, I got all the plastic rivets here. Just takes, you know, I just use a couple screwdrivers on each side, pop them off, pull them out. So, take the top panel off. And so the grill, there's 4 bolts. There's this bolt, that bolt. You know, there's 4 bolts here. Take those 4 bolts off on the top, and I think it just, and then it'll just pull out. So I think it's just, you know, that easy. So I'm gonna do that next. So yeah, these are 10 millimeters. So I'm just gonna use a 10 millimeter wrench here. They usually come right off. No problem. All right. See if we can unsnap this this grill. Didn't get them all the way off here. All right, this out of the way. And I think this just yeah. I think. Yeah. You should just unsnap out of here. I'm gonna need 2 hands here, so sorry about that. Alright, so just so you guys know, I got the grill off here, but what I did is I took some needle nose pliers and I squeezed right here like this on each of these clips, and that they'll come right out. So otherwise, I think, you know, you can bend these or something. I don't know, maybe not. But anyway, that's kind of an easy way to get those clips off. Just thought I'd let you guys know that. All right, so on this side, on the left side, driver's side, I was able to just pull these 2 bolts off up here. You can see them right there. I just pulled the 2 bolts off. There's another bolt that's, remember, there's another bolt that's up under here. I don't know, I'd have to pull that away. And what I was able to do, see if I can show you here. I was able to pull that light far enough away to get those bulbs in there, and they're both in there. The bulb, the bright, so I can get in there. The bright and the low beam is up there. You can see it. So I got those both in there without taking the whole housing out. So that's what I was going to do on this side. Now over here, I think I'm going to have to take the whole housing out, because this intake, even if it was, he's got an aftermarket intake on here, cold air intake. Even with the stock intake, I think I would have to either take the intake out of there, or else take the housing out. So I'm going to have to take the whole light housing out there to put those bulbs in. But I think what I'm going to do now is close this shop door down. You can see it's kind of sunny out here today, but I'm going to close the shop door down. I've got those both in there on this side, and see what the difference is when I turn the lights on. All right, are we ready? There it is. I got the lights turned off. We're going to turn the lights on now. All right, it works. Yay! So anyway, you can tell a difference there, huh? A lot brighter, whiter light. I think that's going to work out good for him. So let's turn on the brights here and see if they work. Oh yeah, even brighter. You can see on the door there what the difference is going to be at night. Quite the difference. So yeah, pretty awesome. So I think he'll be very happy. So I guess I'll tackle the other side. All right, so I've got these two bolts off. You know, there's one here and one there. I've got these two off, and it still won't come out. So I've got to go up under here. There's a bolt up under here, and it's easier to access it if you take this bolt off here. There's a bolt there that I took off already, and then that you can pry that open there. And there's a bolt up in there. Let's see if you can see it up in there. It's hard to see, but I don't know. See if I can get my camera angle there. Can you see that bolt up in there? So you gotta take that bolt off. That's a 10 millimeter also, and then you can take the whole light housing out. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do now. All right, success. So I got that bolt out. That's where it was at, right there. You can see that in there. And to get this housing out, you got to kind of finagle it around a little bit. There's a lip here. See that on the fender? You've got to make sure that you get this lip here on your light underneath that lip from the fender. You got to kind of, push down on the light a little bit so it gets underneath that fender lip there, or else you'll bust this. I actually busted this off there, damn it. So anyway, just wanted to show you that. Make sure you get this lip underneath these lips here. That lip goes clear back there. So anyway, and then finagle it out. It should come out straight out. So now I've got access to the bulbs right there. You can see. So I'm gonna replace them. I might even replace this this connector here, since I have it out this far. I'm gonna check out the bulb and see if the connector's okay. So anyway, all right. So I did replace that pigtail for the low beam, and I've got that in here. These, it's funny. These have little fans on them to keep them cool. And when I turned the lights on that last time, I could hear the fans in there. So that is kind of cool. Anyway, I've got them plugged in positive to negative on that side, so you can see, make sure you got them plugged in right. And this one has the same thing, positive. I don't know if you can see that, positive and negative. So the brights are 9005, and the low beams are H11. So all right, so I'm gonna put this housing back in there. So yeah, before I put the, everything back on there, the bolts back on, and get that all tightened back in there, I wanted to make sure the bulbs actually worked. So you can see in there the LED bulbs. I don't know if you can see the low beam in there. Yep. So anyway, let's go turn them on, see what they look like. All right. So far so good. Got the low beams. I don't know if you can hear that, but you can hear the fans going, the cooling fans for the lights. So pretty awesome. I'm gonna turn the brights on. So yeah, you can see the well, it makes a big difference. Bright lights, and you can hear the fans, I think, hopefully. All right, so I'm gonna put everything back together, put the grill back on. I think he's gonna be pretty happy with this. All right, I'm all done. Bulbs are all in, all 4 bulbs. Kind of see the LED bright bulb in there, and so they work. It's all good. This one's angled different. We might have to, I don't know, figure something out there, but we'll see how they look when it turns them on at night. So just for comparison's sake, I got my old 2003 Silverado over here, and I want to show you how hard it is to get these headlight bulbs out. So I pull this rod there, and then I just kind of comes out like that, and lo and behold, there's the bulbs. Oh my gosh. I guess I just don't understand how they went from this to a pain in the ass headlight assembly removal on the newer vehicles, but oh well. They're engineers and I'm not, so I guess I won't question it. But I've got some LED bulbs for my lights here, so I'm going to replace those while I'm at it here. So again, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. The sun's going to go down here in a second, but just wanted to take a quick video of me doing this. Maybe it helps somebody out. So anyway, see ya.